As a patient, what's the most absurd thing a doctor has ever recommended you do? I was walking home from a friend's house around 11 p.m. when I heard a loud bang behind me. Like someone clapped my lower back and fell flat on my face. A few steps forward, my whole side went numb for a second. I turned around expecting to see some kid who had thrown a firework or something. The street was empty, just parked cars and lit street lights. I touched where it hurt. There was no blood, just a strange, tender spot near my hip. Like someone had punched me really hard, so I kept walking. What else was I gonna do? Call the police because my back hurt. I thought maybe a piece of metal had fallen from a truck or someone was shooting air rifles from. Sometimes it happens at a window that happens in my neighborhood. The next day I woke up and could barely turn over. The pain was much worse, like a constant throbbing that got more intense when I moved. Seemed to be the only one not surprised that I wasn't invited. I pressed on it, hushed on, and almost pressed up in bed. Someone should out of bed, something. I was definitely wrong. My mom said I had to go to ER. She must dropped pillows and after house permission. Most simply, similar to where it's shares me adding with you. I shouldn't care moved. I'm like, else. I told him what hose price is a brace. He said, already getting his prescription pad out. Maybe you pulled a muscle when you trip. These things happen. Ignore it and it'll go away in a few days. I asked if he didn't want to take X-ray or something. He actually laughed. For a bruise, that's a waste of time and money. Believe me, I've seen this 1,000 times. Take ibuprofen and you'll be fine. So I left with a bottle of painkillers and that he didn't take me seriously. The pain got worse that night, much worse. I couldn't sleep on my left side at all. Even sitting up in bed made me want to scream. My cousin Geronimo came the next day and saw me limping like an old man. Dude, you look terrible. Something's really wrong. He kept insisting I go to the hospital, not an urgent care clinic. By the third day I gave in, the ER was full. But they saw me quickly when I explained the pain. A nurse, an older lady with a kind look, did listen when I told her what happened. She nodded and he said they needed some imaging studies. The X-ray technician was a very talkative guy who kept cracking jokes while I lay still on the table. We don't want any blurry pictures now. He said he went behind his lead wall and everything went silent, too silent. The technician came back and stared at his computer screen for a long time. His smile had completely disappeared. Hey, let me get the doctor. 3 people rushed into the room. The ER doctor saw the screen and went pale. When she asked what had happened, I told her it was 3 days ago. She pointed at the monitor. See this little white object here? That's a bullet? What? She turned the screen toward me. There it was, crystal clear, that little bright dot near my spine, a bullet. .22 caliber, right there in my soft tissue. You've been shot, she said. And I seemed to be the only one not surprised, rather than saying pies again. Madayanka shaded, I wasn't invited. That bullet ricocheted off your abs and lodged near some nerves. Important, you care for never fancy the dead of Hade on a switching way. You could have been paralyzed. My brain hand couldn't process it, I kept saying. But I don't believe you now has the nurse came to me. Cameron is black. Can it know that it's time to I'll be check. I'm not going to come back. I see what I'm the bullet. To look at these eyes with some nerves. I look like they calling your solar mouth all the way from that bullets don't always show obvious symptoms, but any medical student would know first year knows you should order imaging studies when there is unexplained back trauma, especially in a neighborhood where shootings are not uncommon.